All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shema Shabbat, Shema Kakodash, double honors to the apostles and others, great millstone. Shalom to all the occupied, they're pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, I just did this Google search. I'm gonna make it quick. America doesn't have too much longer. I just typed it unbiasedly. Is America doing better or worse? And AI overview: most Americans perceive their financial situation and the national economy as worsening, with recent polls showing a significant major feeling worse off than they were in their recent past, while objective economic measures show growth following the pandemic. Public opinion, particularly concerning the cost of living and inflation, remains largely negative. So you have the different objective data versus the public opinion. I'm gonna read a little bit on it. It says the significant majority of Americans believe the economy is getting worse, and they are personally worse off than in previous years. Economic growth. Despite negative public sentiment, objective data indicates the U.S. economy has shown consistent growth since the COVID-19 pandemic, reaching high levels of annual growth in 2021. Key concerns: cost of living. A major factor in negative perception is the rising cost of living, with many Americans concerned about affording food and housing. Yeah, they're saying that a lot of people are actually using their credit cards and doing payment plans. More so, that's what I wanted to say. They're doing payment plans on groceries, and you'll hear something like that. And then rather than thinking, or we already know in the spirit, because we measure the time. We already talk about how bad it's going to get here. But you'll hear things like that, and you'll think, damn, I might need to do the same thing. Because everybody is feeling that the squeeze of this snake, this giant reptile, Esau Edom, which he encapsulate this kingdom of America. He's here to squeeze you for your resources, squeeze you for your talents, squeeze you for your labor, squeeze you for every little thing at the expense of getting the bare minimum. You sow in much and bring in little, and that's why even what kingdom about these women. These women have these crazy expectations by the men in America that they want. You got to make $150,000, $300,000, and $400,000 a day to 5 or 6, which is ridiculous, And if you look at mass majority of these people, everybody's depressed or they're on some type of drug to cope, some type of vice to sustain in this terrible kingdom, And us brothers, see, we got the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah walking with us. We don't turn to the left. All right. We know everything. There's a solution in the spirit, and we deal with our hell accordingly, pursuing the 2 Timothy 2:3. Thou therefore endure hardness. And are we feeling it just like everybody else? Of course we are. But the difference is we understand it. And we've been understanding that this place has to go through it, and this place has to collapse before the kingdom of heaven is established, because this is definitely not the American dream that most of these people had ideally believed in. So we got the cost of living, which they speaking about even vehicular costs. Average cost is like $1,000. People are getting wrung out by just the vehicular market, automobile industry. But it says a major factor in negative perceptions is the rising cost of living. Yep, it's going up, with many Americans concerned about affording food and housing. You got inflation. Incomes are not keeping up with inflation, contributing to feeling of financial deterioration. So we're all going through a squeeze. All right. And guess what? This devil's finna squeeze harder. Oh, they got a article, which I'm not gonna go through it. I actually gotta go really to work right now, but I was like, you know what? Let me get in the spirit, just drop some drop a little bit of fire through the spirit. Get into let's see. Get into a couple points, because this prophecy. Matter of fact, I'll get it and I'll close. This prophecy was already written that America will go through a financial collapse, financial depression, where mass majority of people are hopeless, they're depressed, lonely, don't know what to do, turn into adversity rather than the spirit of the Lord, and these people are weak by nature. They don't have a backbone. They don't have what's the word? Inner strength. Mass majority of these people, us, we trust in Yahweh Shema Shah. We don't trust in these chariots. We don't trust in this American dream. We don't trust in this system. All right, Ecclesiastes 12:4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, which is work. Yeah, it's hard as hell to get a job. Jake had his status from coming from somebody who's an adamant job quitter. This is not the economy to be quitting, and it's damn sure not. You quit a job thinking you're going to slide into another job to follow them a few days, man, your ass sitting down for months. And file for unemployment. Unemployment ain't taking care of Jack SHIT. $200-$400 a week. That's not even living the bare. That's worse than poverty. Damn near. Well, that is poverty. He shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yeah, so the conditions of even this music is just gradually declining, And even the song, like the scripture speak about, how can you sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Something spiritual. I had this article which I did a lesson on. Even the whales are singing on a low pitch in the ocean, and they've been because everything has a vibration and everything connects, whether this devil understands that or not. And that is all indicative of the system that we're living in. Very, very low vibration kingdom. But we have hope, and we understand that these things will go low until the point of breaking. And at that same time, the Lord will build us up even in the worst of conditions. And we're built for the battle. Grunts could take it, like Apostle Ramlab always said. So with that, I'm going to end it by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh Shema Shah Shem Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom Akim.